In 2008, the world faced a devastating financial crisis. Banks collapsed, trust eroded, and millions questioned the very foundation of the global economy. Out of this turbulence, an anonymous figure appeared. Using the name Satoshi Nakamoto, he proposed a radical idea: a peer-to-peer electronic currency, independent of banks and governments. On October 31, 2008, he released a 9-page white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Posted quietly to a cryptography mailing list, it initially attracted little attention. Yet within its lines lay the blueprint for a revolution. This single document would ignite a movement that reached far beyond its origins. The white paper described a decentralized system where trust was replaced by mathematics. Transactions would be verified not by banks, but by a distributed network of computers. This system was called the blockchain. For the first time, money could exist without intermediaries. It did not require permission, only consensus. For cryptographers and digital idealists, this was liberation. They saw it as a defense against financial corruption. Outside their circles, few yet understood its significance. But within niche forums, excitement grew rapidly. And soon, the first test of Nakamoto's creation would begin. In January 2009, the software for Bitcoin was released. Nakamoto mined the Genesis block, the very first one in the chain. Inside it, he embedded a message: The Times, 03, January 2009, Chancellor on brink of bailout. A pointed reference to government bank rescues during the crisis. With this, Bitcoin became not only code, but commentary. Nakamoto shared the program freely, encouraging others to join. A small circle of pioneers answered his call, mining coins on their personal computers. This experiment was fragile, but alive, and it would soon find its first true believer. Hal Finney, a respected cryptographer, downloaded the software almost immediately. He became the first person after Nakamoto to run Bitcoin. On January 12, 2009, history was made when Nakamoto sent him 10 Bitcoins. It was the first transaction on the network, proof that the system worked. Finney described his excitement in emails and forum posts. He admired the code's elegance, marveling at its potential. Yet even he never learned Nakamoto's true identity. Their conversations remained professional, never personal. More developers would soon join, expanding the project's reach. In the early adopters were programmers, libertarians, and digital pioneers. They viewed Bitcoin as freedom from centralized control. Some saw it as digital gold, finite, scarce, and incorruptible. Only 21 million coins could ever exist. This fixed supply gave it unique value. Online forums buzzed with debates and discoveries. Nakamoto responded with patience and precision, but always guarded his privacy. He shared knowledge freely, but never revealed himself. The mystery deepened even as the project grew stronger, and speculation about his identity began to swirl.
Behind Bitcoin lay a movement called the cypherpunks. They believed privacy was a human right. Their roots stretched back to the 1990s. Programmers and activists gathered on mailing lists. They warned of surveillance and the erosion of freedoms. For them, cryptography was a tool of resistance. They shared manifestos and code freely online. Their ideas spread across borders and generations. Out of this culture, Bitcoin would one day emerge. It carried with it their dream of digital freedom. In 2010, the first exchanges began to appear. For the first time, Bitcoin had a price in dollars. At first, the value was almost nothing. It took months for anyone to trade it for goods. The first real purchase became legendary. 2 pizzas bought for 10,000 Bitcoins. At the time, it was worth only $40. No one could imagine what those coins would become. From obscurity, it was stepping into history. What began as an experiment was becoming money. News outlets began to notice the strange new currency. Articles questioned whether it was money, a fad, or a threat. Television hosts debated it with both laughter and concern. Some dismissed it as a bubble ready to burst. Others saw it as a revolution in the making. Headlines spread across the world at lightning speed. Searches for Bitcoin skyrocketed on Google. Early adopters were interviewed as pioneers of a digital frontier. Some saw fortunes, others warned of danger. Either way, Bitcoin was no longer in the shadows. In 2011, a site called Mt. Gox became the largest exchange. Traders from around the world flocked to it. At its height, it handled 70% of all Bitcoin trades. The price of Bitcoin soared to new heights. Speculation reached a peak fever. But behind the scenes, cracks were forming. Security flaws left the exchange vulnerable. Hackers began to exploit its weaknesses. Confidence began to crumble. In 2014, Mt. Gox collapsed, taking hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins with it. Despite the collapse, Bitcoin did not die. Developers and believers kept building the network. They patched flaws, improved code, and restored trust. Slowly, confidence returned to the system. The community grew stronger, united by resilience. New exchanges rose to replace the fallen giant. The idea of decentralized money was stronger than ever. Its story was no longer about survival, but about growth. From crisis emerged resilience. From collapse came innovation. The future of Bitcoin was just beginning.